everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name's Brie, stay for a while. I've had a lot of questions about doing monthly wrap-ups. I haven't done any monthly wrap-ups as of yet because I find it really difficult to speak basically. I've only really had to voice my feelings and I know what I want to say, but it's really hard for it to like my brain and my mouth just never work the same. So I never done monthly wrap-ups, but I've had a lot of questions about doing monthly wrap-ups, so I thought that what best way to do it than start fresh in the new year and do my January monthly wrap-up with you guys. Now if you've come here wanting a full in-depth review of each and every book that I read in January, you are in the wrong place. This is just going to be me rambling my thoughts about the books that I read in January. There's not going to be any in-depth critiquing reviews over here because your gal can't do that. So grab yourself a drink and let's get into the video. Now in the month of January I read 13 books, which is absolutely insane for me. I feel like I started off the year really well. I usually average about 8 books a month. That's usually what my average is. But for me to read literally almost double that, more or less, is absolutely insane. And I think I averaged about a 3, according to my Fable, I averaged a 3.7 star rating throughout the month. I did find 3 5-stars, which is absolutely insane for me to find 3 5-stars. They're all 5 stars for different, very different reasons. We'll obviously get to them in a bit. Most of these I have read in a reading vlog, so you can go back through my most recent reading vlogs and see me physically read these in the videos as well. I get my Fable up so I can have the exact stats in front of me of when I read them and what I rated them. So I started off the year with Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Now this was a 3.5 star. It was good, I enjoyed it, but I think there was this whole debacle a few weeks ago about Victoria Aveyard made a video describing this book, which was published in 2015 or something like that. She made a video describing the plot of this book and someone commented saying that she'd stolen the idea from Powerless, which is impossible because Powerless was inspired by this. But I think it's because I'd read Powerless before I read this and I didn't really enjoy Powerless that much, that when I read this I did feel like I was reading the same story. And that's not Victoria Aveyard's fault in any by any means. Obviously Lauren Roberts has openly said that she was inspired by Red Queen, and I think if I hadn't read Powerless I feel like I could have enjoyed this more and I could have really been immersed in the story because it would have been something new. But I feel like because I've already read it and in my honest opinion, I feel like Powerless does feel very copy and paste in the sense after reading this I can see there's a lot of similarities even in the first chapter and how the book starts. It's very, very similar. So in my opinion I feel like if I hadn't read Powerless I'd feel like reading Powerless ruined this for me. But it was still a good book. I enjoyed it. 3.5 stars. It's the first book in a series, but apparently I have heard that the middle book in the series isn't that good. So I think I'll try the second book in the series, and if I don't enjoy it then I'll probably DNF the series. But I can see how this is some people's ride or die. Maybe if I'd read this when I was younger. I wasn't really into fantasy when I was younger. I was more into John Green books and things like that. I wasn't really reading when everyone was reading Divergent and all the OG dystopian and fantasy books. I wasn't really reading those kind of books, but I do think if I'd read this when I was younger I could have really enjoyed it. But a 3.5 star, still good. And then the second book of the year I read Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. Now this was a 3.75. I did really enjoy this. I think it was a really easy, fast-paced book. Now this is the first book in a series about mafia families, I think it is. But this is a mafia book. And I'm not a big dark romance girly, but this isn't dark by any means. Obviously they speak about murder and kidnapping, but it's not dark romance. I've read some dark stuff. It's not my cup of tea, dark romance. I'll dip into it now and again. But mafia romance, I do enjoy. I feel like mafia romance is a genre on its own. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's both romance and dark romance. I feel like it doesn't fit in with general romance and it doesn't fit in with dark romance. I feel like mafia romance has its own little genre on its own. But this was really good. The banter between the two main characters was really good. I've honestly forgotten Callum and Ada, that was their names. Yeah, the banter between Callum and Ada was really good, but I feel like their connection started too soon. At the start it was built up to have these rival families, they were gonna have an arranged marriage, but I feel like they came together too soon and I feel like there wasn't that yearning, there wasn't that subtle touches, there was no looks from across the room, and I really think this could have slayed if it had that. But I am going to continue the series. Did really enjoy this, and Sophie Lark's writing is like really easy to get into, so definitely going to be reading on in the series. And then we went in with The Chase by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Brer U series. This is the last like Brer University off campus spin-off that I need to read. I've read all of the off campus books. I'm up to date with the Campus Diaries books, and this was my journey into the Brer U series, and I'm really sad to be coming to the end of this. I just read the 2 books this month, but I have got the 3rd book on my TBR in February, and I'm really scared. I just don't want it to end. Like, I love the off-campus world. Like, you've probably heard me speak about the off-campus world on my channel so many times. I absolutely love the off-campus world and the found family aspects of everything, and it's just, I love it so much. And then when she brought out the Campus Diaries, I was like kicking my feet screaming, because like the Campus Diaries I love so much as well, because it's like set years and like years ahead, but Brer U was kind of like simultaneously in with the off-campus. Like, it's only set like a year ahead, where the people in the off-campus have gone and graduated, and then this is like the leftovers of what's left of the hockey team and things. But The Chase follows Summer and Fitz. Now, Summer is Dean's little sister from the off-campus. I think his book is The Score, I think. And I was really excited because we see a lot of like cameos of Summer in the off-campus series, and a good personality in there was really good. And then we just seen like more of her personality shine through in this, and I really enjoyed this. I rated this like a solid 4-star. It was really good, really enjoyed it, and it's just like your average hockey romance, I guess. But I think one thing I loved about this is, even though it's a hockey romance, Fitz isn't someone who wants to play hockey professionally. He is like a gamer boy at heart. He designed his own video game and things. So I feel like usually with hockey romances, they're like hockey obsessed and they want to go play hockey professionally and things like that. It was really nice to have someone that's not hockey obsessed, and he has this like, he actually wants to do something else other than hockey, which was really nice. Now, after I'd read those 3 books, I went in and started my reread for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, just in time for Onyx Storm to come out. So I first obviously read Fourth Wing. I think I read this when it first came out. I think I did, because it was like hyped up as soon as it came out, and I feel like I read it straight away and I loved it. I don't even know when this came out. 2023 it came out, so I must have read it in 2023. But this was like a 5-star read for me. I loved it so much, and even rereading it this month, I still rate it a 5-star. And I listened to the dramatized audiobook version when I was reading along with this, and it was the most immersive reading experience of my life. I loved it so much. Like, with the background noises, you could hear like the dragon noises, and like, honestly, I think every book needs to be dramatized, in my opinion. It was the best experience of my life. I loved it so much, and it just made like rereading experience like 10 times better. If you want to read Fourth Wing or Iron Flame, or you want to reread them, then I highly recommend you listen to the dramatized version on, I think they're on Audible, I think there's some on Everand, there's some on Spotify. Like, there's like different parts in different places, and I think I read the first part of Fourth Wing on Spotify with my Spotify Premium. Then I had to pay for the second part, which then I had a free trial on Audible, so I used that free trial to use the credit for the second part of this. And then when I got to Iron Flame, I think I downloaded Everand and I listened to Iron Flame dramatized version all on Everand, I think I did. But yeah, you probably all heard of Fourth Wing. Like, I don't need to speak about it. It's honestly amazing. I love it so much. It's one of my favourite series of all time. Like, it's up there with my favourites, and I think I forgot how much I loved it, and then coming to do a reread, I just like remembered how much I loved it, and I was like kicking my feet giggling. Like, Fourth Wing is the best for the romance side of thing, but the more like deeper you get into the series, the more political it gets, and the more, yeah, just more like political and more fantasy it gets. Whereas this is more, it's like the perfect romantasy book, and I loved it so much. And then obviously as soon as I finished that, I went straight in with Iron Flame. Now, when I first initially read Iron Flame, I rated it a 4.75, like a 4.5, and I think I rated it down because of like the back and forth arguing that was going on between Xaden and Violet, and I feel like they were just arguing about the same thing. And when I initially read it, I said that it was like, it took up the whole book. I'd said like in my review, and I said that it was like this back and forth constantly, and they were arguing over the same thing, and I felt like we were going nowhere. But when I reread it, I feel like there was none of that. Like, obviously there was the back and forth, but it wasn't as much as I remember, and I think it's because initially I was trying to like pick things apart because it was the first time I'd read it, whereas the second time round I was reading it to enjoy it, and I was like, like I knew what was coming, so I wasn't like surprised by anything that was coming up. So I feel like I was just reading to like enjoy to enjoy the experience again. And I think the second time I read it, I was like, this could have been a 5-star, but obviously at the time when I initially read it, I rated it 4.75, and I'm not really one to change ratings too often unless I feel like I really need to. But yeah, I've kept this as a 4.75 just because initially when I read it, it did annoy me, and it did annoy me a little bit, like the arguing, the things of like Sayed always saying you're not asking the right questions, blah 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 blah. But I feel like that took up most of the book when I first read it the first time, but when I read it the second time, it didn't really make that much of a difference to me. Like I felt like I just enjoyed it anyway, but absolutely loved it. The ending the ending just does it for me every single time. And then after Fourth Wing, we went in with The Prison Healer. Now I rated this a 3.5. I cannot remember anything that happened in this book. I think at the time I initially read it and I was like, oh yeah, this is 3.5, it was good, it was alright. But now that I look back, I can't remember a single thing that happened in this book, and I only read it about 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. It wasn't even that long ago. I know that I'm not continuing the series, I know that for a fact, but I don't think it's a 3.5. Like honestly, this should be like a 2.5. I didn't really enjoy it. Looking back, I listened to the majority of an audiobook because I just wanted to get through it, and I had it on like 2 times speed because I just wanted to get through it because it was on my January physical TBR. But I just didn't enjoy it that much. I can't remember what happened. I know that we have Kiva, and she's the prison healer basically. She's a healer in the prison. I can't remember. I can remember like glimpses of it, but I honestly couldn't give you a summary of what happens in this book because I'm going to be completely wrong. But I definitely won't be continuing the series, and I think I might change the rating to a 2.5 to be honest. And then I seen something on TikTok that was like speaking about these characters in this book, and I was like, I have that book, I need to read it. So I went in with Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. Now I haven't had the best of luck with Catherine Doyle books in the past. She co-wrote a book with Catherine Webber, I think it is, and I think it's called Twin Crowns. Didn't like that book at all. It was very YA. I know you're like, Brie, but you're 25, you shouldn't be reading YA books, but there's some YA books that I've read and I've loved, like the Caraval trilogy, the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, the Defy the Night trilogy. There's so many YA books that I've read that I've absolutely loved and rated them 5-star series. So when I picked up Twin Crowns, I thought it was going to be one of those easy, fun YA books, but it was too YA for me, which is fine. It's like my fault, it's not the book's fault. Like it's just not for my demographic. Obviously it's a YA book, but apparently this is like a bit better. It's a step up from, it's a bit older YA. So, and I can see how that is. It's written a bit more for the older demographic of YA people, but I just didn't enjoy the plot that much. It's split between the daggers and the cloaks. Again, I can't fully remember what happens in this. Yeah, split between the daggers and the cloaks in the world called Phantom, and within the world they have this thing called shade magic, and it comes in this like black powder, and it's basically, imagine like drugs, that's basically what it is. It's like this drug you take and it gives you these magical abilities. Now the cloaks use it to cloak themselves, and they're basically thieves basically, and then the daggers use it, they ingest it, but it gives them like assassin abilities, and the daggers are the assassins. So you've got the thieves and the assassins, the cloaks and the daggers. Our female main character, her mum is a shade smuggler, so she sells shade basically, and she ends up dead, and the female main character ends up running for her life, and she ends up finding refuge in with the cloaks. But then there's like basically a bounty on her head, and one of the daggers is sent to kill her, and there's obviously like a romance then between them, and it's just like this, I don't know, the premise was really good, but I feel like it was just, yeah, executed quite poorly in my opinion. No, I don't know, it wasn't that it was executed poorly. I think it was just too jumpy, and I feel like it was quite short, the book was, and I feel like if it was like an extra 100 pages, we could have really like developed the world building, developed the plot, developed the characters, and I feel like if we just had that extra time and a few extra pages, it could have been a bit higher. But I rated it a 3-star because it was just an average, good, like alright book. It was enjoyable, but I feel like if we had more time, I could have enjoyed it a bit more. And then we went in with our first 5-star of the year. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I love this book. So I've read this in a reading vlog, which isn't up yet, but I think it might be up before this, like after this video comes out, which is going to be the me reading books on my January TBR. It's just going to be a vlog of me trying to get through my January TBR. So a little spoiler for you, 5 stars. I absolutely devoured this book. I loved it so much. I think I read this within like 3 days. At every spare moment I had, I wanted to be reading about Poppy and what Poppy was getting up to, and just everything about Poppy and Hawke I loved so much, and I'm so excited to like fully get into the From Blood and Ash and a Flesh and Fire series. Now, the world building is intense. I don't fully understand the world building still, but I spoke to Emmy when I was reading it, and Emmy said like, you discover things as Poppy discovers them, and you don't know, like you as a reader don't know much about the world and the magic system because Poppy doesn't know much about the world and the magic system. So I held out and everything just made sense in the end. I just loved it so much. Like I could not get enough of it. It was the best way. It was like the best book to have my first 5-star of the year. Like I honestly loved it so much, and I'm so like I cannot wait to carry on with the series. Like I just wanted to sit there and binge the rest of the series, but I had other books I needed to read. But I'm so glad this was my first 5-star of the series, and I couldn't even explain to you the plot of this book really, because I fully don't understand what the plot is because it's so complex, but you just have to go in with it blind and then like just enjoy the ride. Like it's a roller coaster, okay, but enjoy it because it's worth it. And then after From Blood and Ash we went in with Onyx Storm. This was a 5-star for me. I've seen so many people rate it really low, but then when I read it, I was like, why are people rating this so low? Like the world building was immaculate, the politics was immaculate, the vibes were immaculate, the dragons were immaculate, the friendships were immaculate, the relationships, just everything was immaculate, and I loved it so much. I loved that we got to see like more of the side characters in this. Like we got more, like this book made me fall in love with Riddick. Like I loved him in the other books, but like we got to see more of Riddick in this, and he was like, we got to see more of his personality, and we got to see like things with his dragons, and we got to see like more glimpses of people with their other dragons and the personalities that their dragons have and stuff, and I just loved it so much. Everything. I feel like this is where the found family really started to form for me, and for that I give her a 5-star, because I'm not someone to like critique a book based off like, even though like sometimes a book, I feel like a book needs something more, but I give 5 stars out of vibes, okay, and the vibes were immaculate. 5-star for me. Absolutely loved it. I don't know what else to say. It was just perfect, and I loved it so much. And I think everybody needs to read Fourth Wing, and then Now in Flame, and then Onyx Storm. Kind of sad. Oh my god, the ending though. The ending. My mind was blown. So I did a 24 readathon, which is actually uploading as we speak. I did a 24 readathon where I binged this book. It's basically an Onyx Storm reading vlog. It'll be the video that's up before this video, so make sure you go watch that so you can see my raw reactions of the ending of Onyx Storm. I was bawling my eyes out. Like I literally could not see the pages on my, like I literally could not see the pages. My eyes were just filled with water, with tears, okay. I just couldn't, it was too much, the ending, and we have so many unanswered questions, and I'm just like, I need that book immediately. But Rebecca Yarros has already said that she's going to take some time off from the Empyrean series. She's going to write a contemporary romance next, and then she'll start with the 4th book in the Empyrean. So I'm kind of sad, but if I ever want to go back into the world, then I'm hoping that she brings out a dramatised version of this, so I can do a little reread with the dramatised version as well. Now, obviously when I was doing my 24 readathon, it didn't take me 24 hours to read Onyx Storm, so I had to go in with another book, which I went in with The Risk, which is the 2nd book in the Briar series, and I was very excited for this book. After reading the 1st book in the Briar series, we got like little glimpses of Brenna and Jake and their dynamic in the 1st book, so I was very excited to see what this book was. Now, the dynamic between Brenna and Jake was immaculate. I was expecting like a really intense enemies to lovers, not enemies but like rivals to lovers, but I feel like they got together really quickly, but in the best way. Like it wasn't like insta love, they got together in the best way, and like he was just perfect, okay. He, like Jake Connolly can do no wrong in my eyes. He's the best. Like he is the man that climbs drain pipes for you. I said this in my reading vlog. He's the man that climbs draining pipes for you. He's the man that gives you his good luck bracelet. He's just the man, okay. He is the man and he can do no wrong. But Brenna, on the other hand, she also can do no wrong. Like, her personality was amazing. I loved her. She's got like this really like strong personality. Like, she's just like a really strong woman, and I love that in books. Absolutely love her. But like the dynamic between them, how it's rivals to lovers, is because Brenna's dad is the captain of the hockey team at Bray University, and she also goes to Bray University as well. Bray University's hockey team, the rival hockey team to them, is Harvard, and guess where Jake Conley goes? You guessed right, Harvard. So there's like a rivals to lovers kind of situation there. But I absolutely loved it. Like, you just have to read the off-campus series, okay? Just read it all. Read the off-campus series, read the Bray U series, and read the campus diaries. It will not disappoint, I promise you. After I took a little break from my reading my January TBR video to film my 24 readathon, I continued on with that video with reading my January TBR books, and I went in with Meet Me at the Lake by Callie Fortune. Now this I did not enjoy, which I was so disappointed about, because I love Callie Fortune books. Like, Callie Fortune is my Emily Henry. Like, the way that some people feel about Emily Henry, can I speak please? Emily Henry is the way that I feel about Callie Fortune. I feel like they write so similarly, I can't say that word. I feel like their writing is so similar, and I feel like they really write in this like beautifully poetic way when they're writing about romances, and I absolutely loved Callie Fortune's The Summer Will Be Different, and I loved Every Summer After. But this I didn't like. It was very predictable and the characters were very unlikable, and I just didn't like, it was like unrealistic as well. So it follows, I can't even remember the names, Fern and Will, and they met like, so it's dual timeline, they'd met like 10 years in the past, I think it is 10 years ago. Yeah, they met 10 years in the past. So it starts off in the present day where June has to take over the holiday resort from her mother because her mother's sadly passed away, and she has to take over the resort from her. But it then skips to 10 years in the past, and it skips like to present and past obviously, but it shows the past where Will and Fern first met for one day, and they spent one day together, right? And apparently they fell madly in love with each other from this one day. But what's really like thing to me is like Fern also had a boyfriend at the same time, and I'm just like, I don't like that. But the one day situation is like very unrealistic. Like, if they'd spent a week together, that would have been more realistic. But like, one day, come on. Like, they spent one day together and they were making all these promises to each other. I was like, no, like that was given insta love, and I really didn't enjoy that. So I rated it a 2-star, I think. Yeah, I rated this a 2-star. Didn't enjoy this at all, which I was very sad about. There was some like good quotes in it, but I just didn't connect to the book at all. And then carried on with our January TBR. We went in with This For the Kingdom by Tara Murphy. Didn't like this. Guys, I'm sorry. I really wanted to enjoy this so much. Like, I wanted to enjoy it. Like, I loved the Shatter Me series. I say I loved the Shatter Me series. I'm only halfway through the Shatter Me series. I'm not even halfway through the Shatter Me series, but I loved the Shatter Me series, okay? And I just didn't like this. I really didn't. It was too much. Like, everything was too descriptive. Her writing was too intense for me, and like, that's a me problem. In no way is that Tara Murphy's fault in any way. Like, her writing was beautiful and it was well done, but it was too much, okay? Like, every sentence was way too descriptive. Like, they would go on for about 10 sentences just to describe the colour of a flower or the smell of the streets, and I would be like, I understand you're trying to create this world and create this scene around something, but it's too much, and it was taken away from the story, and the plot was really confusing, and the way that they spoke was really pretentious and really posh, and I just didn't like that. Like, I find, like, I can't really read Regency era books because I really don't like the way they speak, and I find it really difficult to connect to characters when they speak like that for some reason, and this was given like Regency vibes, like the way that they speak, and I really didn't like it at all. Like, it was just given pretentious, it was given posh, it was given the Queen of England speaking. It just wasn't for me. Didn't enjoy it, and for that it was a 2-star. I feel like if it was written in a different format, in a different way, I could have enjoyed it. Like, that's just me though. Like, it is honestly just me being a bit stupid because I didn't understand what was going on in this world at all, and I feel like if I was a bit more intelligent then I could have enjoyed it. But it wasn't that I didn't understand. I knew what was going on. I understood the plot, but the way that it was written, I just couldn't, like, my brain just couldn't decipher the words, if that makes sense. And I was just like, it was just scrambling my brain, and I felt like I didn't want to pick it up at all. And the ending was a bit like, what? Like, it didn't really make sense, the ending either. I feel like it was just sort of like strung together really quickly. I feel like we had nothing until like the last chapter of the book, and then the plot, like we had no plot whatsoever, and then like the last chapter of the book was where the plot was. And I did almost DNF this book, but when I looked at the reviews, people are like, oh my god, the ending's worth it, like that's what the plot is, and it really like picks up in the second book. And I'm like, I always say this all the time, like I'm not going to continue a series if the first book doesn't pull me in. Like that first book is your welcome into this series, and I feel like it's got to be amazing, like something so good for me to continue on with that series. But like if it's just average, like why do I want to put myself through other books if I'm not going to enjoy it? That's why I like DNF'd the not Shat Me series, Throne of Glass, because I'd read like 4 books and I still wasn't like pulled in, and people were like, oh, after the 4th book it gets so good, and I'm like, why is it after the 4th book it gets good? And I'm just like, why after the first book does the series get good? Like those first books should be your introduction into this world, and it should pull you in, and it, like that's what that needs to do. But for me, it's obviously just a me problem, by the way. Like some people have said that this is amazing, and I can see why it's amazing, but I'm just not intelligent enough, guys, okay? I'm really not, so don't come for me, please. And then we had one day left of the month, okay? We had one day left, the 35th of January, and I needed to squeeze one more book in off my TBR, so I thought I'll read the shortest book off my January TBR, and I picked up Unsteady, and this is where the third and final 5-star of the month came. I love this book. Like I have not stopped thinking about this book, okay? The way that Reese and Sadie's relationship starts is so incredible, and the way that it ends is so incredible. The storyline, the progression, the characters, everything is incredible and intense, and just, I loved it so much. Like the way that I felt when I read Yours Truly is the way that I felt when I read this, and I just loved it. I really did. I wish I could read it again. I really did love this. Like this would probably be on my, like this is a 6-star read for me, and I just loved it. So it follows Reese and Sadie, as I've already mentioned. Now Reese suffers from panic attacks. He had a really bad, he's a hockey player, by the way. Like he's a hockey player and she's a figure skater, and they're both in the same college together. Reese is suffering from panic attacks and he has PTSD because he went through a really traumatic hockey accident during one of his games, and he almost died. He thought he was going to go blind. So every time he steps on the ice, he has these panic attacks because he's got PTSD basically. And Sadie then, on the other hand, her parents, well, her mum left when she was really, really young, and then she was left with her father. Her father's now an alcoholic. He's like stealing her money, so she's trying to get custody of her little brothers. She's got 2 younger brothers. One's like 11 or 12 and the other one's about 5 or 6 or something like that, and she's trying to get custody of them while also having a scholarship for figure skating and hockey, so she's trying to keep that going. She's obviously got college, she's got work, because she's got to get money to pay rent on the house and feed the children and bathe them and clothe them and clothe herself and stuff like that. So she's going through a really tough time, and their story was so perfect, and I thought this was going to be really short. Now I've said a bunch of times on my channel that when certain authors try and do a mental health representation, whether it be anxiety, PTSD, or they do a disability representation, sometimes it can really not be done well, and you can really see that they haven't got first-hand experience in these certain topics. But the way that Peyton Corrine wrote this book, you can really see, I don't know whether she has or she's just an amazing writer, but it's as if she has first-hand experience with anxiety and panic attacks, and like it just feels like she's got the experience to speak about it, and the way that she wrote it was done so well, and I just loved it so much. Because as a girly, I don't really suffer from panic attacks. Like I've had panic attacks in the past, but I'm not like a big sufferer of them, but I do suffer from anxiety, like raging anxiety. So obviously with Reese in this, with him having panic attacks, he also has like anxiety on the side and stuff, and like just being in his head, I just loved it so much. But like he's just the perfect sad boy as well. Like if you want to read a book about a sad boy, just read this, and he would go to the ends of the earth for Sadie, okay? And like his family and the friends and just like everything, I loved this so much. I cannot wait for the second book in this. Now one thing I love about like interconnected interconnected standalones as well. I feel like I'm rambling on about this book so much, but one thing I love about interconnected standalones is that you get the like found family aspect. Now I've recently read Spiral, the second book to Collide by Bal Cabra. Now I don't really I'm not really I enjoy those books. They've all been like 4-star above, those two books, but I'm not enjoying like the family, like the found family aspect of it, like the friendship group that they have. I'm not really enjoying the dynamics of the friendship group. But when I read like the Off-Campus series or the Twisted series or the, what else have I read that I love? The Chestnut Springs series, I love that. Like those found family things and the friendship group that they form, I loved so much. And I feel like this is going to be one of those things that I get obsessed with, and I just love the friendship group so much. And I'm so excited for the second book. It comes out on the 4th of Feb, so in 2 days. So I'm so glad I picked this up now, because I haven't got to wait long for the second book, because I already know the second book's probably going to be a 5-star as well. Honestly, I just love this world. I love it so much. Like, who knew 300 pages could have such an impact on me? And now those are all the books that I read. Again, these are just my opinions. This is no means me bashing the authors. This is all a me problem. Reading is subjective. These books just weren't for me, but they might be for you and for other people that you know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, all that jazz. Make sure you click the little bell as well so you know when I upload, because we've got some really fun reading vlogs coming up. And let me know in the comments as well if you've read any of these, what your thoughts were. Again, just because I didn't like them and you loved them, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.